Hey, thanks for joining again and listening in on Sweat Success Podcast. And every once in a while, I run across somebody who just has a super unique perspective on how they build things out. And I got to tell you, I was super excited to talk to Richard Decker because he's got a new way of doing things. And it's not franchising, it's not licensing. And, I don't know if it's just totally new. It's just the fact that he's framed it differently in the way that he brings in people to be partners with him. And if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business person who's got this business mindset and you're just trying to figure out how to own your fitness business, Richard Decker does a perfect job of laying this out in the episode today. And he makes it so simple. You don't have to come in with any money. You don't have any out-of-pocket expenses. He actually pays you while you're building your business. He gives you the stuff that you need. A lot of businesses don't do that. If you go out and franchise, you're out of pocket at least $40,000 just to start for franchising. And then you have a minimum sometimes, of $400,000 just to kind of get this thing off the ground. If you're in a bigger space and you have more equipment and you got a bigger lease, and depending on the demographics of the region you go into, you're looking at $1 million or more. So this is, I think, a really good, perfect opportunity for those of you who are going, how do I protect my downside? How do I get into something where I don't have to come out of pocket? How can I start making money today? And by the way, his model is earning 70% plus on net profit. So I think this is a perfect opportunity. I really enjoyed my conversation with Richard. He's got an awesome personality, super energetic, and he's still going strong. I would consider him a serial entrepreneur. He's been doing a lot of different things. So thanks for listening today. And if you have any questions, just listen at the end because we post everything in the show notes. And everything else that you might need is also there. Thanks for listening. We'll talk soon. See you on the flip side.
So, first of all, man, I really appreciate you jumping on here. I mean, I know I switched the link for you, and that was I'm glad Zach reached out and connected with you. Otherwise, you would have been waiting in a room there was nobody there.
Well, I live in a life called transparency and honesty. Okay, I left New York yesterday at 3 a.m. Flew to Tampa to pick up one of our trucks to be in West Palm yesterday. And long story short, I didn't leave Tampa until this morning due to challenges and complications. You name it. It was just one of those days. Had to get a follow-up email out to Zoa Energy because I'm trying to close a deal for them to sponsor some of our fleet. As I'm doing that, I get the hit from Zach saying, hey, just letting you know, we sent you an updated link. I'm like, shit, I got a Zoom call. And literally in my friend's apartment in West Palm, who I said, you got to go out with your kid for a minute because I can't do the Zoom call in the business center. And don't worry, I'm glad I got the link.
Yeah, as a reminder. It was a gentle reminder. Yeah.
If it didn't happen, you wouldn't have seen me. You got to know. You should actually do like an age verification thing when you're doing your podcast interviews. If you're over 25, we will send you reminders.
I love it, man. I love it. So, all right, I've got Richard Decker, the one and only, on the podcast today. And you want to go by Rich or Richard? You popped your name in here as Rich.
Just go by Decker. They either go Rich or Decker. So however you want to phrase it when you're talking to me.
All right, I'm going to go by Decker. I played enough sports, so we can go by everybody's last name.
When I get Richard Decker, it's usually authorities, my mother, priest. Decker's good.
So, man, I was doing my research on you. And, we hadn't officially had a chance to meet like this. And, you've been doing this gig for a while. I mean, as far as being in the industry, you've been doing it for a while. And did I read it correctly that you were running some clubs, or I didn't even know Martha Stewart had some gyms, or you were operating something like that?
Yeah, pretty funny story. She really didn't. She was a minor shareholder. Her daughter, Alexis, was the key shareholder. That was a health club that I founded and built, sold it, and I think 2 owners after me, they invested in, and he wasn't doing well or performing well. So they reached out through a mutual friend of ours. I was golfing in Miami with my son, and they reached out saying, we need a consultant to come back. We understand you were the previous owner. Would you, jump more with us? So I worked as their consultant for 2 years in a project. We just basically reinvented the places that I built to bring them back to positive, cash flow positive.
So at what point was it, because you've been involved in clubs, and then you moved kind of into this space where Roll Fast Fitness, AWA Fitness, COVID was the thing that kind of, I would say, probably put you on the map more than anything else.
We started a year and a half pre-COVID. I started January of 19 out of fun because I was primarily a health club owner, restaurateur, nightclub operator. May of 18, I got out of my last restaurant, sold it to Ron Perlman, Bill Bouquet. He came in and bought it. Very nice place in Sag Harbor. Had a facility, about 6,000 square foot interior, but 75,000 square foot park I built outside. Very elite training facility. I left that September of 18 with the intention of semi-retirement. As you could tell, you see my persona. I'm a biker. I love Harley Davidsons. I've been working for 40 years. I've raised my children. They're successful in God. I'm going to ride my bike and enjoy life and just see the great America. And then I found out I had another baby coming, so I had to start working again. So when I got rid of my club, a few of my clients, and I love to work out, so they're like, hey, we still want to work out. I'm like, you know what? Best we could do is let's take some battle ropes, let's take a TRX, let's take some bungee runs, and, let's just run in the woods for a mile, tie off, because we have a lot of trails out by where I live. Tie off, work out, run a quarter mile time. They loved it. It was great. But coming towards summer season, they were like, listen, we're going to be afraid of ticks. We don't want to be in the woods. It's going to be hot. So anything else we could do so we'd be close to the beach. So I'm like, really can't tie anything off at a beach. I already own this Rocky Ridge Monster pickup truck. So most of my gyms I custom designed and built myself. So I went to my fabricator who did a lot of custom steel work for me. I said, here's my truck. I want it to be a power cage. Let's put on pull-up bars. Let's put on dip stations. Let's put on row stations. Let's put things on this truck. And that's how we became a business. That first was AWAT Fit, which stood for all weather, all terrain, but too many people kept calling it twat, so I figured I'd change the name. That's a true story. I'm like, are you serious? It's like, can you all grow up and get out of high school? It's
yeah.
Like, and we actually, and we use anywhere, anytime fitness. So about a year while we're rolling, I get a cease and desist order from
Anytime Fitness. Yeah.
And I'm like, I got one truck rolling in the Hamptons, and you just sent me a $10,000 legal document, like 40 pages, pictures of me, pictures of my past. I mean, you thought it was like an FBI investigation.
Wow.
And I just came back to them and I said, I'm sorry, I'm not using your name. We're all weather, all terrain fitness. That could be done anywhere, anytime. So you don't have any groundings. They went away. I went away. My lawyer's like, well, what do you want to do with this? I said, that's a compliment. I said, you're one of the largest chains in the world funding me all the way out here. So we're doing something. And then that business did about 300,000 the first year at an 80% net.
Wow.
So now I found a business after I started my business career in about 1988. So what are you, like 46 years if I'm doing math right? 36 years? I don't even know anymore. Too long. That had an 80% net. My gyms are 10 to 12%. My restaurants, same 10 to 12%. That's really when you're cutting the cookies hard and you're working hard, right? So I got a business that I just did 300,000 and I netted 240 grand in my pocket.
So I want to talk about this.
240 in any of my gyms, I would have to grow close to.
You're rolling right into exactly what I wanted to talk about, which is most of these gym owners, right?
If you hit a 30% gym in a margin, you're kind of like a Barry's or something like that. That's very limited amount of equipment and slamming 50 people in. You're really not a gym. Now you're like a petite group X kind of. That's how Soul Cycle and all those guys made their money. They're like, all right, let's put 60 bikes, charge $50 a class, get 5 classes a day.
Right.
That's really not to me. Like, I'm not a gym any longer. The gym industry, we relied on hope, right? 70% of our clients pre-COVID never came more than 30 days a year. And if you priced it right, like you did a Planet Fitness game, they would never take it off their credit card.
Oh yeah. They had this idea that they were a member to somewhere, even if it was costing them, 10 or 15 bucks.
But when you have 2 years of shutdown almost, right? Now people are like, I found other ways to work out. I found that I'm never going to do. So the gym industry kind of lost that percentage of people. And you see it all over. When the closings are happening, the nets are down low, classes are being cut, people are losing jobs, trainers. I was just fortunate enough by happenstance to be out of the two industries that got hit the hardest. Obviously the restaurant industry is rebounding a lot faster than the gym industry because people want to eat and drink and be social.
Yeah.
Gyms prior to this already had hygienic concerns. So COVID, people still have the COVID phobia.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I still see people wearing masks and
Oh,
stuff.
I know. I was just in a drive-through earlier today and I saw that.
And that's personal preference. You know, listen, other countries have done it for years. It's fine, but it's like, it's such a unique thing. And with us, you know, I have a business model that I created that's COVID proof, AI proof, and Amazon proof. You know, the three biggest things. If you go to look for private equity, you go to look for money, you go to look for VC. You're like, hey, can AI duplicate what you're doing? You know, if we have another COVID because we're gonna, maybe the government will handle it differently. But what are you going to do then? What's your plan? And well, wait a minute, that's a product that if somebody just knocks you off of China, they're going to put on Amazon. You're done. You know, so how do you get around? And this is all by luck. This isn't, and you know, I use the word luck very facetiously because there is no luck when you have 40 years in the business world. You just have the knowledge that you're unaware of. That's just kind of going.
Yeah.
You know, like the truck wasn't luck. The truck was like,
it was back there. Yeah.
It's a trigger. You know, when you're a serial entrepreneur, nobody's ever given me a paycheck. Other than when I was a delivering paperboy and a pizza cook and helped in a baker before graduating high school in 1982, I was always self-employed 6 months after I graduated high school. So there's an intuitiveness to our luck. None of us is an overnight success. Like people are like, you know, when I first put the trucks rolling, the community that I lived in, because I was so well known, were like, this is Decker, the nightclub owner, restaurant owner, the big gyms. Look at him in a truck. And all I'm doing, not giving a shit what they're thinking. I'm driving to the bank with boatloads of cash. I'm like, why didn't I do this 30 freaking years ago? It's like, what else? I will never rent a building again.
So,
I mean, now it's the other way around. Now they see it blowing up. Now they're like, how the hell did Decker know that? He always does these overnight success. No, that's 40 years of being in the grind.
40 years of pain.
Oh, yeah. Listen, most of us, and you've done a lot of these podcasts, there are some fortunate, you know, under 30-year-old, very successful tech guys. Yeah. The majority of the biggest, wealthiest entrepreneurs and stuff, that's 50 and beyond, because it's all our knowledge accumulated, all about. And I've learned that from the franchise world, because inviting people in to be franchise operators who've never owned a business before, you're seeing from the outside the fetal position that I was in 30 years ago.
Yeah.
The how cash can, you know, I don't care. I mean, I literally could wake up today and say, oh, shit, I got no money in the bank, you know, and I can't pay my bills. I wake up with like, oh, what can I do? What action can I take today to make that go away? Instead of the newbies are focused so much on that they never take action to create the new possibility, you know?
So how can first of all, ask this question. If I'm a gym owner, because I was in this position, I had a couple clubs, and I thought to myself, I already had training. I had training that was in clubs. That was a separate business. And then I had my own gyms, and I ran training out of my own gyms. I thought, how can I expand this? This is years ago. And it was, what if I had like these vans? And it wasn't to your level, but if I had these vans where people just go drive to other people's houses, and you gotta brand gym guys. They do that, right? They just go to people's places.
He's got like 140 locations.
So they have that model. They've been doing it for a bit, and they're going to people's houses. Some of them are going to like, you know, offsite locations, but they don't have a gym to bring to you, right? They're bringing stuff to you, and hopefully you have a gym in your house or you have a gym wherever they're meeting you at. So your model is you're building essentially a gym foundation, right? A true rack that you could use on the back of your vehicle. And it's always got it. Does it always have to be a truck, or you have a couple different models?
Yeah, okay. We have a different. We have Ram 1500s for now, and there's a purpose to it, because it just systematically, when you design the custom stuff to go on, you know, to make it fit a van, then make it fit a Toyota Tundra, and then make it fit a Chevy. Believe it or not, those 1 or 2 inches that these guys do body designs changes the whole structure of it. And creating anything that has to do with customization, the mold is the most expensive. Like now I got it down to a science, and it costs pennies on the dollar compared to when I was in my customization shop making it. You know, that's why I'm not really fearful when everybody's like, somebody's got to come compete you. I'm like, yeah, well, they can go spend $150,000.
Right.
They can create their own thing, and then they got to get the business rolling and stuff, because it's where we live, right? We live in the world of free commerce. You know, competition is grand. You know, I created the blue ocean. So what does that mean? That means I'm out in rough seas by myself, getting rocked all over the place, trying to figure out how to calm the seas. And as soon as I get the seas calm and it gets momentum, other people are going to say, let's get in the waters with Decker. Now I just got to keep my boat ahead of yours. Mm-hmm. That's all. Just like Walmart's got Kmart, McDonald's got Burger King, Home Depot's got Lowe's, you got your podcast, that podcast, this TV show's got that series. That's what makes our country great. And it also makes the reason why, if you're a serious serial entrepreneur like myself, getting out of bed, no matter how daunting it might appear, it's exciting. Like, what can I overcome today? Bring it.
So what can there's two things on this spectrum, right? People franchise for the purposes of having pre-made, kind of predestined of what they can anticipate the business model is going to bring them, right? That's why people franchise, because they go, all right, I'm going to go get a McDonald's, and McDonald's is bringing in X amount of revenue, and I can expect this kind of income from it. Do the same thing with Chick-fil-A. They do the same thing with Anytime Fitness. You mentioned their brand. They do the same with Gold's Gym. So what can someone realistically expect? You said 80% net, but
yeah. So
what's
we're no longer
go ahead
doing the franchise model,
mm-hmm.
because the companies you mentioned before is a perfect example of what should be in the franchise model. Like a McDonald's, they only make about $200,000 a year. So every McDonald's owner has like 10,
mm-hmm.
They cost millions to get in, by the time you're done. Same as Anytime Fitness, same as that. I found in the last 3.5 years of doing this that I no longer want to do it in the franchise model's sake, because there's not it's not rocket science, right? Because it's a truck, it's training, we get it. But the trainer has to be everything. He's got to be the marketer, the salesperson, the closer. Most trainers in gyms, you own your places, they meet a salesperson, the customer meets a salesperson. Hey, Michael, you got a 10-pack trainers. You're responsible for membership retention, not membership acquisition, right? So those bigger brick and mortar organizations, they can have really good cookie cutter processes in place because of what they control. And we're really not a gym model. My unique selling proposition is convenience and time. I take away the excuses. When we come to your house, we make you accountable. The difference between what I do and what Gym Guys does is real simple. Well, two things. They were shut down during COVID because they go into people's homes. We do everything outdoors, and we could do up to 30 people at a time. We do a program called America's Healthiest Tailgate Party, where we go and we do free fitness. We also sell sponsorship to that program. So I'm an experiential marketing company on the health and fitness initiative. And then what I'm done, instead of entrepreneurialism, is instead of franchise world, sorry, I forgot the word I was going to use. Instead of being a franchise company, now we're more, you come to me. I only work with retired vets now as well, because my best performers in all my brick and mortars were retired vets. They were problem solvers. They had initiative. The training's a very delicate world. You've been in it, a lot of great ones out there, but a lot of them more about, they want likes, they want followers, but you know what? That doesn't pay the bills. If you give me 10,000 likes and you give me a full tank of gas, I'm all for it, but it doesn't. They're feeding themselves. They're not feeding the brand. They're not feeding the business. So what I'll do is I'll say, hey, Michael, you're great. You worked, you served our country. You look good. You love fitness. Come train with me. Just like McDonald's. I don't care how many restaurants you own. You're going to McDonald's University. You're going to learn our process. And then I'm going to give you a 50% rev share of your location. And if you hit $250,000, I'm going to make you 30% partner of that location. So now you're not a franchisee, you're a limited partner, kind of like a law firm or a real estate firm. Ownership equity in, say, Roll Fast Fort Lauderdale LLC. Because Roll Fast Holdings has all these, instead of a franchise world, which is very nuancey and very attorney general, all this stuff, and it kind of gets into
a lot of rules. Yeah.
And a lot of rules, and it hampers the success of what you can do and what you can't do, and the FTD and the audience. Just I found this model, what we do between the experiential marketing and the sponsorships and the product, the endorsements, is so much more than, we were never a gym. I never marketed as a gym, but that also then just brings all the challenges. How do you market this? Gold's Gym, it's easy to market. Anytime Fitness, their marketing is real simple. Join this month for $99, get 3 months free, because they want 10,000 people to give them $99, so they just got $100,000 of cash flow, knowing that those people are that was the old marketing, right? Just let's bang the numbers. Now you can't do that anymore. So the franchising world is it's an interesting world. I just saw a very interesting article. I think it was on Body Bar or something. Let's just leave the company's name out of it. But how the soccer moms and the housewives are going broke, because they're putting a lot of money up and they're building these places out and they're not succeeding. People think because they're buying into a franchise that they're not going to have to go through what I went through. We limit the amount of risk. We limit the amount of exposure. But you still got to have capital. You still got to have a chutzpah. You still got to be creative. You just can't all of a sudden, when things go bad, pick up the phone and just keep calling the franchisors. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? It's like, you still have to be a problem solver because it is your business.
So they go through. I'm not a veteran, so I'm already off the list. But let's say I'm a veteran, right?
Yeah.
I go to Decker U. I get trained up by you. And then at that point, do I have to put any money up to get in, or are you fronting the money? You're fronting the cost of the truck, the equipment, and then now I'm your partner in that fleet.
Your only obligation to us is to pay gas in your vehicle. You have to have a little skin in the game. So we own the vehicle. We give you the vehicle. We give you the equipment. We give you the POS. We give you a marketing company. We give you an outside sales agency to call, book appointments, and close deals for you. You just got to be an exceptional trainer with let's just say they're not angelic. they're the devil in disguise. The old term, venture capitalists. Let's just call them vulture capitalists.
Yeah.
So I've been around long enough with all the different businesses I've ran. I've been in retail. I got patents. So I've dealt with just about every little nuance you can in the industry. So how do I help that future entrepreneur, that vet? And we're on vets now because I know they perform, and that could change. That's the beautiful thing about businesses, right? We change, just like the way we change for improvement. If you're smart, you don't go status quo. Every day you're changing something. Every successful company you see, they don't run flatline. They are always improving what they do because somebody else is going to come out if they don't and be better. So how do I take that individual, put them into employment without them having to go find an angel investor or them borrowing from friends and families, them borrowing from mothers and fathers? I'm going to invest in you because I have deals with equipment companies. I have truck companies. I have almost 30,000 trucks at my disposal between 3 different companies that after they saw with our success, they're like, we'll rent your trucks monthly, Decker. Rent them, wrap them, take them, put them. Within 3 days, they'll be anywhere you want in the country. They wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, this is a beautiful model because talk about the downside, right? Protecting the downside, and a big problem with a lot of gym owners is they do have that rent and they have those fixed costs and they can't get away from it. You make it even easier, right? I mean, this is like a no-brainer for anybody trying to get into kind of an entrepreneur situation where maybe today they're not ready for it, and they certainly can't. They don't have the credit to go to the bank. They can't get a loan to go build out a gym. And heck, they may not even be able to do it to go get a car. So right. What you're doing, even if somebody screws up, right? You bring somebody in because you've hired people before, so when. I gotta screw up. Yeah.
When somebody screws up.
Yeah, when it happens.
It's like, I don't say, even if I make $1 million. It's like, when I make that $1 million, I already know I'm making the $1 million.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Screw up. So we have safety spots in play.
Well, you still own you still have control over the vehicle, right? Because it's under your organization. So
Michael screws up. Michael, I'm sorry, park the truck. I have a monthly truck payment. I don't have $10,000 to a landlord. I don't have PSEG. I don't have insurance. Brick and mortars can't shut and open doors as fast as we can. I could change this model, put it in neutral, and be exposed minimally. Yeah. And I made it even better because before we used to have to own the trucks. Now I have the trucks on a long-term commitment, but only month to month. So I can say, Michael really shit the bed. I don't have anybody else to go in that territory. Truck company, come pick up the truck, and when I need it back, I'll get it back. So I don't even have a truck payment anymore.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. It's like returning like Avis in a rent-a-car. So, but what do you do with good things? So, as I'm 59 years old, all right, the whole mission statement of my company is empowerment. I want to empower the people with better health and fitness, and I want to empower the individuals to financial freedom. Unfortunately, our vets in the top of their business, they'll make $48,000. The soldiers and SEALs will make $98,000. They have an opportunity now to make over $125,000 to $150,000, become financially independent. That's a large piece of the income in this country of what people get to make. And that's only if they hit $250,000.
What about marketing and advertising? Yeah, I'm going to put you on the spot here because the reality is revenue might be $300K. Right. But there's a portion of that money that's got to be spent on marketing and advertising for your local area for people to, because I know trainers right now today, they're trying to do this model without the vehicle, right? Hey, I'm a local trainer, come hire me. And they don't get any traction, and they don't get traction because they don't know how to market. They don't know how to advertise. They can't spend the money on it, even if they did. And they're just going off of hopeful referrals to get somebody else in, so that way they can make their next payment, for the place that they're living at or whatever it is. So how can you make those claims, right? I know that you've got one of your did 300K. How can you make a claim that they can make 125 to 150? Tell me how that works.
Well, we do the marketing for them because we found in the research of the experience that we went through with the franchise model. Okay. Franchisees were advertising like they were a Barry's. Come meet us at a park. And I'd call them. I'm like, what are you doing? If I need to get my car and drive to a park, why don't I just get my car and drive to Barry? You just put yourself into the red ocean. Mm-hmm. We're in the blue ocean. We go to people's homes. You're marketing at the wrong spot. The truck is the marketing. It's such a spectacle and eye-opener. So when you go to the high-end coffee shops, the high-end juice bars, and the high-end locations, and you offer free training, you go to the golf courses and say, hey, golf pro, let me give you a workout. Let me show you what we could do functional fitness-wise. And then feel free to refer me to customers. You go to the high-end restaurants. Hey, you guys in here, you know what? Let's do a class outside. I could train up to 30. Let's do it before you go. So my year that I did 300,000, I spent $11,000 on advertising, and that 11,000. That's not my year. That's my 4.5 years consistent income. That's not like, oh, we did it once. I don't even count COVID, because COVID was just, we were fortunate enough to be in the outdoor business, and what happened with COVID was I'd be training 10 people at a time because they'll be like group sharing houses, or they want to train with family and friends. So it just gave me a different market, but then it just went back to, so I don't even put COVID's not even in our algorithms of how to figure, because I was just like, oh, whatever. If it happens again, we'll look back at what we did during COVID, hopefully, knock on wood, it doesn't happen again. So that $11,000 that I did on advertising was basically give back to the community, sponsor the soccer team, sponsor this, do something here, do something there. It wasn't about driving business. My customers do not reside on Facebook and Instagram. You don't get the 10, 15 customers who want you to come. And that's all you need for a truck to succeed. Okay. You're bringing it to the higher end clientele, but then that's not fair. So then I created America's Healthiest Tailgate Party. Now let's go to the parks and the beaches and the schools and the community centers and the college campuses. Let's do free classes. And let's use our lead gen. Let's get some people. You'll grab a customer or two out of that. Somebody's going to tell their friends. Somebody's going to tell their mother. The truck gets activity when people go and buy. I get most of my clientele. So I flew in yesterday from Tampa, like I told you before when we started this, right? As I'm in Tampa waiting for the truck because it sat too long, had to get a new battery, long story, dealership, blah, blah, blah. I get a phone call from a guy in Boca. Me and my daughters have been seeing your trucks drive around the neighborhood, and they really want to start training. One's 20, the other one's 16. One's athletic, the other one's competitive. I want to do it. Can you come to our house and train the three of us in the driver? Is that your business model? I said, yes, and you're fortunate. I'm the CEO. Somehow, I don't know how you got my number, I guess, from the website. I said, I happen to be in Florida. I will personally come over there with our trainer, say hello to you, and set you up and get you on a program.
Nice.
I didn't Google you. I didn't Facebook you. The truck is driving down the street, and it's very visible what it is. That's why the new trainers who come on, they're required to drive a minimum of 300 miles a week. Okay? The only reason why you're not driving that truck around for people to see it is because you're parked and training people. And then your miles get deducted. Right? If you got 4 hours of training, I don't need to see that day's mileage. You just made $600 for the day. but like we do.
It's the old ice cream truck, right? I mean,
Right.
driving that thing around, letting people see it with the bell, and kids come running out.
My trainers, when I talk to my trainers and when I talk to my marketing companies, they're all a little bit younger. I said the best part of my business experience is I did it before the internet existed. You're all so reliant on something. It is a necessary tool for what we do. Like you and I are doing this. There are certain purposes, but you all just can't sit back and say, oh, I'm going to do a Facebook and Instagram thing. We're just going to be full of business. I'm going to put my, I had trainers, and not all trainers are like, I'm a competitor. Okay. So I got a show coming up in March. So I get pretty shredded down. I don't take my clothes shirt off when I'm working out on my truck. I got trainers trying to promote their truck in Miami, and they don't have that body. They look good. They're lean and stuff, working out without the shirt on. I said, let me ask you something. What person wants you in their driveway training them? What man or husband and wife team is going to say, yeah, let's get the shirtless guy over here to train my wife,
right,
or train mom, or train. So you're a professional business. You're a concierge service. You're like white tie. We're like white gloves. So then we got an outside sales company, and this guy owned 10 cycle bars and sold them after COVID, but he had an outside sales company that he created to sell memberships for them. It's called Sales Rev. It's a great guy, Joe DeMarco.
Yeah.
So he put the sales team together.
Mm-hmm.
And now Joe's going to be the one making phone calls, booking calls, and closing deals for my guys. Because like I said, we need a minimal amount of clients. But then you have my other business side of it. I'm like NASCAR on the streets. I have big brand sponsors that are now, we're all in negotiations talking to what it's going to cost, because now they're like, wait a minute, you're going to take our money, you're going to employ a veteran, and you're going to get brand exposure from us, and we can give you product samples handout, and I can give you collateral, we give you t-shirts. So every day there could be a fitness event under our brand in the neighborhood, because the direct to consumer product market right now is getting crushed because COVID's over. And retailers and store shelf space are saying to the D2C products, hey, we don't want to just see social media advertising.
They got inventory sitting on the shelves that they got to get rid of, and they got to figure out how to use it. Yeah.
And everybody was so reliant because COVID did drive us all onto the internet. COVID did open a world of, some great rock stars in the training world came out of it. These guys who do nothing other than they'll stand in a room with green screens and they can do their classes. They did it, but that's a small percentage. Kudos to them. I think I couldn't do it. I don't mean I enjoy this, but I'm in front of the computer more than an hour. I'm going crazy. It'll be outdoors.
Good, man. So what's the plan what's your growth plan for the business?
13,166 McDonald's in the country, so I'll be happy when I have 13,166 fast trucks rolling. I am committed to do fast fitness against fast food.
Oh, I like that. I like that tagline.
Bringing fitness, this isn't about making everybody a bodybuilder. This isn't about throwing around weights. This is about the same thing I did when my two youngest, my two oldest, now 30 and 28, fitness lifestyle. One could be probably a professional golfer. He's a scratch golfer, but fitness. One was a quarterback. The other one was basketball, baseball. And we were like at a D8, country school, nothing big. Teach all the kids. You never know where that diamond in the rough is, but if you teach them it's a healthy lifestyle, be comfortable around other people working out, no matter what your body shape is. We're such a body image country, right? People. I'm sure when you owned your gym, you would hear people tell you all the time, I'm not in shape enough yet to join.
Yeah, let me get ready before I come here.
And then you would see like the skinnier guys come in with like 4 sweatshirts on because they want to look big, and then they're tapping into their supplements.
Yeah, it's like 95 degrees outside, man. What are you doing?
But the people who need to come in the gym, so we get to service those people. Like my customers, I can't tell you how many times a week I hear like, I will never join a gym. I wouldn't have joined a gym pre-COVID. I'm not joining it post-COVID. So what does that do? Demographically, that removes a lot of clients from me. But instead of quantity, I replace it with quality. The same as these brands looking to advertise with me. Am I an influencer with 1 million followers? No. But is that influencer really moving your goods, or community events, good brand recognition for you? And I'm giving you quality leads because they worked out, they tried your product, and they opted in to hear from you. Because the way the whole social media and everything is changing now, all that is getting scraped. And used to be a time if somebody hit your website, you could scrape it, get their email, and just harass them. That's all very soon going to be highly illegal. They've already done it in Europe, they can, and right now the U.S. is right behind us. It's how do we get quality over quantity? It's not about going to the masses. It's not about shotgun hunting all the time. It's about, all right, these people are into health and fitness. Your brand is about health and fitness. Or these people are higher end, my clients, and they want to learn about your new electric car. So that guy's going to sponsor my truck because, you're going to spend less being on my truck than you're going to spend on being on a billboard that's people are driving by 80 miles an hour. And on my truck, I'm driving down Main Street America. I'm parking in homes and community centers and college. Just there's something about business when you start giving more to the community than you expect to take, you always get more back.
So you got to drive 300 miles a day, right? A week. Okay. I was like, they're driving a lot. And driving across the country.
It's costing them about $150. No, it costs them with $300 at the truck. It's costing them about $80 to $90 a week. So about $360 a month it would cost them in gas. But we're paying them until they become a rev share. We pay them, minimally because we want them to be encouraged. They get paid $20. They're not killing it, but we don't want them to kill it. We want them to kill it as a rev share point. They have 3 customers. They're making $1,500.
So regardless, let's run through this, because the people listening to this, they're going, oh, great. I get a free truck and I can drive this thing around and now I have a vehicle. Awesome. So, let's, real life play this out. Somebody comes to you. They seem like what's a good prospective, rev share partner for you? Right, they come in and you're going to bring them on. What does that mean? What are they doing? They're driving 300 miles a week, and what else?
Fitness orientated and or have been a fitness instructor and or a trainer. They have some kind of fitness experience. They don't necessarily have to have that as long as they're fitness orientated. So we'll train them then to become certified. Okay. Sometimes I prefer that because you're not coming to me with any bad habits.
Right.
Sometimes their own experience gets in their way because it puts on like blinders instead of being
I hear you.
to like we offer. We train them. We train them on the POS. We train them on the app service. My studio is my POS system, and we had them remove all the bells and whistles because I am not a facility. I just need to know your name, your credit card information, how many sessions you want, what days you want to come. I need 4 things. I don't need all the bells and whistles that our standard gym POS system comes with. And it took a bit to, believe it or not, dumb down a system. You just can't. They all work off each other. That trainer's in the truck. We point them at the locations to go. We show them how to do business. I call it business cooperation. So you have to live in the area where we're hiring you so you're well known. So when I walk into the local GNC or the vitamin shop or the coffee shop, it's like, hey, Decker, what's going on? Hey, Mike, it's great to see you. I'd like to do a pop-up outside so maybe people could work out in the truck. We'll give them 10% off on your juices. Or if they buy a juice, they work out for free. Let's do some business cooperation. I think that's the best. Integrated marketing and business cooperation is what existed for the longest time until the internet came. The businesses that still do that and intertwine with their communities are the ones that always propel excellence. They have 4 weeks. Okay, we want the A team. So if you're working for me for 4 weeks after our training and our process and you didn't lock in 3 customers, you're going to get cut.
Okay, and during that 4 weeks, they're getting paid $20
Right,
an hour.
They got to work a minimum of 30 hours a week, so they're making $600.
And how do you know? How do you know that they're working 30 hours a week? They got to be driving.
And they're driving and they're clocking in. We have mileage, and also they clock. We see what they're doing. That on the app, you got to clock in. It's 5 o'clock. They get log sheets that tell us where they went because. I'll give you like examples. I've had franchisees when they're working for me, like, I can't find anybody. I said, well, you going to the parks? You're going to be, yeah, I keep going to this park. I said, okay, what park? It's Hollandale Park in Fort Lauderdale. I said, good. Well, what time are you going? I'm going like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. That's great. How many people you see? Like 1, maybe 2 walking the dog. Well, how many days have you gone there? For the last 2 weeks. Like, okay, so this is what we need to do. When you're at somewhere and you see there's no traffic, you need to find another location. I said, how many? I said, have you gone to like the local juice bar? I forget the name of the place. I said, go there like 7 o'clock in the morning. Next day, boom, they got 2 clients. You need to make the truck visible. So this is the process. This is where I failed. I'm not going to say any of the franchisees failed. This is where I failed as a franchisor, not really nailing down that process for them because I really didn't think this was rocket science because our corporate territories run so smoothly and so
Right.
well. But, we have engineers that could put men on the moon, or scientists that could put men on the moon, but we don't have scientists to make leaf blowers quiet.
Right.
Or the guy putting the men on the moon ain't the guy building a leaf blower.
Right.
And the hardest thing about franchising, how do you replace the owner, the passion, the vision? Like, that's where Roy Kroc did it so well, because he got it down to such a process that he made ordinary people feel like they were doing extraordinary things. He got kids that wouldn't clean their bedrooms to work in companies making him billions of dollars and feeling good about it. I worked at McDonald's. That was like the only paid job I had. Summer school, 16 years old. I had to pick up a gig because my allowance, everything was cut because I didn't move grades. So I worked at McDonald's flipping burgers. So I'm part of the Roy Kroc experience. So then they got 4 weeks to get 3 customers. And we helped them along that whole time. Like I said, we got sales rep, we have the outside marketing agencies, we got everybody. We want them to win. But not everybody's going to cut it. Not every, you get a football team, right? They're grabbing so many players preseason. They're all great, but they're all not going to make it. You got to have a cut list. It gives them incentive, because what I found also with the franchisees and stuff, there's not a lot of incentive behind them. They just think it's going to happen. They just think it's just going to happen. I'm happy with this. And then with the sponsors involved and them going to the free fitness events and then the lead gen and the partnership now with Mobilytics, between the truck company, Mobilytics, Limelight, and the sponsorship, that the whole program is significantly different to where it's nothing, unfortunately, we create is fail-proof. But we've mitigated a lot of the risks to make sure, their boats could go down the road, go down the waters with me.
So that $20 an hour, is that an advance for their paycheck? So by the time they hit 3 clients at the end of the month,
that's the paycheck. But then when they hit their clients and then they'll go to the 50% rev share. So if they're showing us the client's progress, we'll keep them there to make sure it's consistent. It just wasn't a fluke thing. And then by the second month, they go to 50 rev share. So then if they're doing, so you do the math, you get 3 clients and they train in, each of them's training 3 days a week. So that's 9 sessions, right? 3 clients. Mm-hmm. And that's 9, right? 3 days. Just
yeah, 36 a month.
Yeah, that's 36 trainings a month. Got $150 of training. So it's $5,100. Now they made 26. Now
so it's $50 a session per client?
$150.
$150 per client.
Yeah.
Per month?
A session.
Per session. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is concierge. I mean, we're the biggest value we're selling to our customers. They're walking right out their door, walking to the gym and inside within 50. So like F45 is a 45-minute workout, which it is. And it's a great workout. But you got to drive there. You got to deal with traffic. You got to deal with parking. You got to deal with checking in. So really, you're about 2.5, 3, depending on where you live, unless it's right below your condo building, because they set up pretty well right now in residence buildings and stuff. But my guys, so many of my clientels, I mean, their most valuable asset is their time. So to give my guys $1.50 to make sure they have more time to be on that computer, to be on that phone call, or be on that business deal, or to be doing that is much more valuable to them than anything they're doing for the rest of the day, because they're improving the quality of their health, they're investing in themselves, but they're not taking away from, the whole social environment. I mean, majority of our customers are not gym customers for that one reason.
Well, I mean, 80% of the population doesn't even have a gym membership, so you're hitting you're hitting that 80% group.
And you hit them, a lot of that 80% group isn't going to be able to afford what we do. And that's okay. That's why we offer the free fitness events.
Right.
Try and take care of both, because a free fitness event is good for the brand because you get in front of future customers. You're doing things for the community that are well. And there's nothing better than giving back to the community and promoting fitness for kids. Like during COVID, we were basically PT class. We would have parents call up. I have 10 kids at my house. Please bring your truck here, and they would pay us $30 a kid. They're like, we just come work them out. Or the kids who are really excelled in basketball and baseball and football and soccer, they couldn't get trained. They couldn't go have practice. So we went and did their agility training to keep them ready, because everybody knew COVID was going to lift sooner or later. And these parents are so pro, we want our kids to be the best of the best. We're not going to let them slack and take 2 months off, So there's always a variable option. especially with what we do, because the truck could set up to train 30 people on the truck with tie-offs.
And they're still all paying $150?
No. When you start going into private group members, so like say you call me up and you're my private client and you bought the package, so it's $150. You're not a concierge. If it's just one, it's more money, but most people buy the package. So you buy a package, you call me up and say, Rich, 5 of my friends here, they want to work out with me. Then we just go down to $50 each. You don't pay for your session that day, then we just get a group rate. So we're flexible that way because, we're not here to beat anybody up. We're here to sell a value and a service. The $150 covers the person, and then there's $50 every edition. But then after 4 people, we just go to $50 because then it's proper. And then what we have with that is a lot of times they'll do that, right? We're like the new Avon, right? Mm-hmm. These 4 people will come to Jim's house, go to Frank's house, go to Billy's house, go to Sue's house. That we did a lot of that during COVID because so many people, different buddies from the city who moved out to the Hamptons would all have group share houses. So we'd be at one group share on Monday, a different one on Wednesday and Friday, and that's where they would do their after parties. Because what are they doing? They're working on computers, sitting by the pool,
right.
And everybody's remote, and they just want to hang out and socialize with each other.
Now, this is a brilliant model, and I think it's even better the fact that some of these other groups, what they're doing is they're charging a franchise fee. Your franchise fee is $40K. At least.
Why you doing that for the brokers?
Yeah. This is brilliant. I love it.
The franchise fee. I dealt with the brokers. I was on the phone with one of the companies the other day. I'll leave their name out of it, but I told them, I said, I will never, ever use a broker again because not only do they just have their hand out for a bulk of your fee, not one of them ever communicated with the person they sold the franchise with after. And that might have been just those 4 or 5 that I dealt with. I'm sure there are some great brokers in the industry, just like there's great real estate brokers, so you can't put everybody in it. Mm-hmm. But that system is broken because it's really not regulated. And they're all coming out with some really strong franchise broker type regulations. Because even if you don't get paid as a ZOR, the Z flakes out. But that agreement was signed, that broker wants his commission. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Your buddy didn't.
Right.
Place didn't even know that I get my money. It doesn't matter. You signed the agreement. They signed the agreement. You owe us $30,000. I had those. That's why I've experienced everything I could possibly in the franchise world in about 2 years, and it was the best education I could ever receive. And you are not going to be successful in any business if you don't make mistakes along the way. Because if you're not making mistakes, that means you're afraid to try something new. And I tried the franchising world, never was in it, was multiple gym owner, multiple restaurant owner, multiple nightclub owner, all privately owned, different communities. Let me try this. It's significantly different. And I really didn't know what I didn't know. And if I didn't make those, what mistakes are you going to remember the best? The ones that hurt the most. And how do you hurt an entrepreneur the most? You hit his wallet.
Yeah.
It's not about a hangnail. It's not about I got a bad haircut. you take my money. It's like, shit, that hurt. I don't like that. It makes it better.
Becomes real very quickly.
Yeah, but then you say thank you to those people.
Yeah.
Like I don't. Listen, I listen. People I've had, I'm like, thank you. Like I'm like, you taught me how to excel in a totally different area. You didn't take me out. That's the best thing about fighting. All right, unless you got the knockout punch. You get to reestablish yourself and hold yourself. There's nothing better than watching a great boxing match and you think the guy's going down because 8 rounds he's gotten his ass kicked, and then all of a sudden he comes back and now round he knocks the other guy out. That's entrepreneurialism.
Yeah, I love it.
The name the boat that my name that's going on my boat is called Knees Not Down, because my attorney, every time he would call me during this process of this business and going through all the growing pains that we went through, he's like, "How you feeling today?" I'm like, "My knee's not down." He's like, what the hell does that mean? It means I am on the 99-yard line. The whole defensive line is on my back, and I'm going to score a fucking touchdown. Right? That's entrepreneurialism. If people want to get in this, and they should all get in it, expect to get your ass kicked. Expect to get beat up. It's like dating. Not that many of us came out of the gate and got that first love out of the gate. It was painful. It's like
you got to make a checklist. Yeah, so you don't forget.
Every new business you start is birth, and you ask any woman what that birthing process was like. It's creation, and there's going to be times when I'm 6 foot, almost, 6'3", 220 pounds, I'm going through a birth canal that a little baby went through, and this shit hurts.
Yeah.
and it's painful. And as an entrepreneur, you really don't have anybody else there to help you either. There's nobody to give you burp you. There's nobody to change it, but when you get through it and you come out, you're like, and that could just be simply just getting through the day. That's an entrepreneur success. Well, we don't measure our success about how much money we got in a bank. We measure our success as what did I do with my time today? What did I take action on today? What can I take action on tomorrow? Or how do I do it? Why do I do it? It's never really about what I do. Why am I doing it? As soon as I figure out why I'm doing it, how am I going to do it? What's the result? And we can't focus on results.
I love it, Decker. This was good. And I really hope the ones that are listening are paying attention here, because there's a lot of young bloods that are listening in and going, how do I make progress here? And the reality is they can get started, make good money, get involved in a brand that's growing very quickly, and not have to be out of pocket. As long as they got the drive, they can get in with your business.
Yeah, so we have reason why we did that. We did it the other way, where we did everything, and those people didn't perform at all. So it was like no skin in the guy. That one guy, I don't know why I'm not getting customers. I said, well, what are you doing? Tell me. Let me see your log sheet. I'm like, dude, he was in Miami. And I'm like, you're driving, I forget the name of the roads. There's such famous roads. I'm just having a mental gap. It's like the Strip in Miami.
Brickell.
And I'm like, and Lincoln, Lincoln Walkway to the streets and stuff. I'm like, you're there between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. How many people do you think are interested in fitness between 8 and 10 p.m. at the biggest drinking strip in Miami? He was at like 6 to like 9. And he couldn't get it. He goes, no, but so many people have seen the truck. Dude, they're talking. This was the same guy who was working out without a shirt on. I'm like, because what is it? Hey, he's got no skin in the game. You're not paying gas, not paying insurance, give you a truck, give you this. So I said, no, how can we least impact these guys and make them want to earn their money? Put gas in the truck. And you have to drive. We had to come up with the mileage minimum because they would just put gas in the truck and not drive it.
Yeah, they sit in their driveway. A neighbor saw it.
Yeah.
So Decker, where can they find you? I know that you've got some social pages. You got a website. Where can they find you if they're actually interested in getting involved and partnering up with you?
Everybody goes through me because it's my brand, my vision. So the best way is just Decker at rollfastfitness.com. They could go to Roll Fast Fitness. They could see it. They could go to rhtbo.com, which stands for Retired Heroes to Business Operators. We have ahtparty.com coming up. That's about the American Healthiest Tailgate Party. But the fastest and quickest way after they check it out is just go to Decker at rollfastfitness.com. And also, if they go to rollfastfitness.com, they just click on career opportunities, and that'll bring them to our career plug page, which has all the it's where I will send them after I talk to them anyway, because we do background checks. This is legit. This isn't just about, hiring the prettiest person. We're giving you a $150,000 truck with equipment and gear where we're entrusting you. So we do background checks. We do driver's checks. It's just not about, hey, you look good. Let's drive the truck, So they fill out, there's little quizzes, there's some, I forget what they call them. Anyway, it's just, there's this process that you have to go through, because I tried the original process because I'm just a very handshakey kind of guy. Like, hey, because you used to work in my building, or you were in my gym, so I was able to see what you did. So I knew if that handshake worked within 2 days of seeing what you were doing.
Right.
That process doesn't work with this, because you might be in California and I'd be in Florida. I could be in New York. So I got to really know who's driving our vehicles for every reason why. That's it. And after they're in, we do everything we can to ensure they're going to be empowered to affect the customers they touch and their own bank book. And I'm not doing this philanthropically. I make money doing everything that I do. But the more I help other people make money, the better it is for the company at large. Building a brand isn't easy, but making people excited to build that brand, because, the reason why JetBlue, the reason why Southwest is the most profitable airline industry to date still, everybody in that company owns a little piece. They share it with everybody. You could be the guy sweeping the airplane, you're getting money. You're getting a piece of how good this brand does. So they all take a sense of pride and ownership. I'm giving a 50% rev share, and then I'm going to give a 30% equity stake after you show us you can make us the money.
I love it.
That equity stake, you could expand. Like Roll Fast Fort Lauderdale could have 10 locations. So if there's 10 trucks rolling there and you got an equity stake in 10 trucks, now you went from, potentially, 6-figure, 7, you're doing well.
I love it.
And we could talk like this, you know why? Because I'm not a franchise. If I was a franchise and I was having open conversations, open business, drove me crazy because I would talk to my lawyers. No. You cannot talk about projections, revenue, potential. I'm like, how do you get people excited? How do you get them wanted to do it? They go, no. That's leading. They will sue you. You're going to go down. I'm like, well, good. You know what? I'm going to make everybody my partners. Now they can't sue me. They can, or they try, but why would they want to? But the franchising rules are so crazy. Like, if you came to me if I came to you to buy your brick and mortar gym, we'd go out, we'd have lunch. You would tell me the numbers. You wouldn't be showing me your paperwork yet because we don't know if we have a deal yet. Mm-hmm. In the franchising world, if we have that conversation before you signed an FDD and they went to the attorney general, I've gotten arrested now for false fraud and leading. But in my brick and mortar business, we did $500,000 last year, Mike. What do you think? I got to show you the paperwork sooner or later. You might say $500,000 not enough. I don't want to see it. They might say, wow, that's awesome, Doc. Let's have another meeting. Maybe our lawyers can, then we get NDAs out and stuff. But you can't even have those conversations in the franchise world because it's called leading.
Yeah, I've had those conversations with franchise owners, right? And because of the FDD and what it states in there, unless an agreement's signed, they can't even talk about it. They can't talk about it like this.
No, they can't have this open. That's why I was excited to take this call because this is the first time I'm doing a podcast where I could actually talk about a business and the potential for the growth and sharing it with people because it's individual partnerships. It's just like it's having a real estate holding company, and I have 10 buildings downtown Miami. You're a partner in one, Zach's a partner in another one, somebody else a partner in another one. I just funded it all, but I brought in a bunch of partners so I could alleviate some of my anxiety and stress and let you operate and make some money. But you're not just doing it as, my boy, you're doing it as my partner and you're making good money and you're incentivized to go there because you're making money. And I didn't say, hey, come in and give me money, be part of this real estate group. I said, you know what? I have these properties, you guys manage it, and you're going to make some money.
Yeah, I love this, and I think it's going to take off. Definitely going to be pushing this. And what I'll do is, as soon as we get done here, I'm going to give you a edited version of this that you can use on any of your social stuff. Okay, so we'll make some nice clips and some cuts and send it on to you.
Keep the angel and the vulture thing, because it's a great thing when you have like a 3.5-4 hour car ride, which I did today from Tampa. So I'm calling my CMO, calling my CFO, and I'm telling him, because I'm like the idea man. And I went on the angel thing and stuff like that. He goes, well, until, you start putting guys in these trucks through the sponsorship. I said, no, we're going to disrupt the angel world because there's not angels out there. If there were angels out there, they'd be normal. It's like legalized bookmaking.
Right.
By the time they get done with the people, and if they're really good at what they do, you're never going to own your business. They're going to take it, because I was involved years and years and years ago. I got involved with a billionaire. I was doing my brick and mortar gyms. And he gets involved, and my lawyer says, what are you doing? I said, dude, he wants 10% stake. He's throwing me $250,000. I want to expand across the country. I want to do it. He goes, don't go to business with him. I said, why? He goes, he's a fucking billionaire. He doesn't give. I said, no, we're buddies, man. We get along. I park my boat at his marina. He's cool. He likes us. He goes, so I went completely against my lawyer's advice because I knew better. I was 29. This guy took me to the cleaners within a year. He owned fucking everything. And there was nothing I could do about it. My attorney said, this is something you're going to have to learn for the rest of your life. He with the gold makes the rules. I don't care what your partnership agreement says. I don't care, because he exhausted you financially. You can't even fight him in court. He took what he wanted to take, and he did it because he wanted the losses, and he wanted to see what you thought was this great, huge expansion to him was going to be annihilation. I could use this for this. Mm-hmm. So.
Hard lesson, man.
Oh, listen, I still shake his hand every day when I see him, because those invigorations, dude, now I know that, right? I didn't know that. And I'd rather learn that at 29 than at 59. I'd rather know the world isn't peaches and roses at 29 than at 59. Now I know what to expect every day when I wake up. I know that it could be a really, really nice street that I'm walking down, and there could be somebody coming out from behind the bushes to attack me. I know to be aware that there's something always out there, and it just keeps a different spider sense. It does. You don't live in paranoia. You don't expect it. You just learn how
You're prepared.
Our database, that little database, it comes up. Like I didn't know that. Like when I met all the brokers and stuff in the franchise world, and we're out there drinking, they're buying you dinner, they're doing it. I'm like, these guys are gonna make me huge. Wow. Integrity goes a long way with me, and they don't even get a letter in the word. Sorry.
Oh man, I love it. Hey, I really appreciate you coming on, Decker, and being able to call you by your last name.
It's the only way to go.
Yeah.
Listen, Mike, it was a pleasure to meet you. I hope I didn't out-talk you, and I hope you got
not at all. No, I got good material here, man, and we're going to use it, and I'm going to send you some stuff that you can use. And
let's plan this. Let's figure in about 3 months we're going to do a repeat show, and I'll tell you how many brands I got signed up so far.
Awesome, love it. Love it. We'll put it on the calendar.
My CFO said today, he goes, if you sell those brands, and you could self-fund, and nobody has to, and you've hit a home run. I said, well, why wouldn't they give me less money than they give them the billboard company to employ somebody to get more recognition and quality leads? I said, this is like a perfect storm that came together while I'm in the rough seas of the blue ocean.
Yeah, I love it, man. No, I've got it though. I just ordered it actually on Amazon because I do Audible. And then what I noticed was, so here's the thing. I noticed that when I'm listening to the audio, and then my wife and I will have a conversation. I'm like, I'm listening to this great book. And then she'll go, so what did you learn? And I go, I'm trying to recall like the best parts, and I'm having a hard time recalling it. But when I read a book, when it's in front of me and I read a book, it's a lot easier for me to recall. So I just ordered a Blue Ocean Strategy.
Blue Ocean's good. The Next 5 Moves is really good.
I got that. I'm on that one right now.
That's an awesome book.
Yeah.
But it's like, and I love it only because, I've experienced most of these things these guys are talking about being in business so long. Mm-hmm. For a new business person coming out, it's awesome to get in there. I wish these guys didn't exist. I mean, Earl Nightingale did, but I didn't know him then. I listened to a lot of his stuff. Brian Tracy, I listened to a lot of his stuff. But the Blue Ocean really, a lot of these things just make sense because you don't want to do what your competitors are doing. You want to be the guy that the competitors are trying to follow.
Right.
And then you don't worry about competitors. I tell my people all the time, everybody says all the time with the truck, what are you doing when a competitor comes in? I said, drive faster.
Right.
I said, I can't train everybody, no matter how many trainers, we're not going to, I made this thing called the Body Wedge 21 back in right before 2000, right around 2000. And it was great. I was in Oprah, Fitness Magazine, Men's Health. Every Marriott in the country had a certain amount of body wedges to bring to your room. I was in that closed circuit TV program, Exercise in Room with Decker, but all this great stuff. I was in Walmart. Bally's knocks me off. The fuck am I going to do? They're huge. So I got Walmart, they got Kmart. I got CVS, they got Target. That's it. You're not suing them because it costs $10 to make, so they figure they'll make it $15 for them.
Right.
They took $5 every one they sell. They put it in their coffer, expecting me to come sue them. So I could waste my time in litigation to hopefully beat $1 billion company back then. They're no longer what they were. Or I could just go about my business and just make sure I stay ahead of them. Just like I said with this, Blue Ocean is a great book, but to me, the analogy of Blue Ocean is you're going to have rough seas. I'm a big boater. I race boats. I go out. It's like, it could be as calm, but you're going to have those 10 footers. You're going to have the big seas. And that's what I went through to get here. Now the ocean's calm. And as soon as I perfect this, other people are coming in my Blue Ocean.
Oh, of course they are. They're going to see what you're doing. They're waiting to find out the refinements that you make. So that way they can just start there. So they don't have to go through the headache.
Right. And hopefully what I've done between customer appreciation, customer loyalty, brand recognition, brand loyalty, I keep, I stay in front of the race. Just like everybody's tried to touch McDonald's, it ain't happened.
No, they keep adopting. They keep adapting and adopting to new things. All right, Starbucks, the Starbucks comes in with coffee. McDonald's realizes they're selling less coffee. McDonald's is going, how can we improve? They actually have better coffee. I think they do.
I hate Starbucks coffee. I really don't like Starbucks coffee at all.
And McDonald's just annihilates them with, what they offer. So now their revenues increase, right? And then they get the traffic from across the street. So
let's just this. I mean, this business that I have it's 4.5 years old, 5 years old. The amount of transitions and change that I've gone through, and people are like, why don't you just, people who are not entrepreneurs, like your friends and family, people who think they know business because they've gotten a paycheck their whole entire life. Why don't you just run it this way? Why do you keep changing things? I mean, if you don't change, you're dead.
Hey, where are you at? Are you in Florida?
Yeah, right now I'm in Palm Beach Island, West Palm. Where are we in West Palm? West Palm.
Okay. Yeah.
Where are you now?
I'm in Ponte Vedra Beach, so north of you, between Jacksonville and St. Augustine.
I wish I knew that because I just came from Tampa. I could have went that way. We could have done this in person.
Oh, it'd been awesome. Yeah, we could have done it in the studio here.
All right, brother. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, likewise, man.
Look forward to getting the edited version.
Sounds good. Catch you soon.
Peace.
Bye.